revealed Ruto's 1.2 billion shilling church at State House.
What?
Yep. Controversy. According to recent satellite imagery, the building is already coming up near the presidential helipads. President William Ruto is quietly overseeing the construction of a massive church within the grounds of State House, Nairobi, in a move that raises questions on the constitutional separation between church and state. Nation has seen detailed architectural designs and drawings of the imposing structure that is expected to have a sitting capacity of 8,000 and cost
8,
hundreds of millions. Yes.
8,000.
Like the prosperity gospel churches of the 90s. 8,000. I don't know if we need to belabor what the issue is here. Let's start with even.
Read the story.
I read the story before I bring the issues.
Pastor ni nani?
Okay.
What denomination is
that
it?
story is on page 2 and 3. It says that we've talked about that headline. It says, as the towering cathedral rises on the House of the Hill, questions about the constitution that separates church and state, amid fears that public institutions are being turned into personal pulpits, and how far Ruto is willing to merge faith and governance. So, as we said, Nation has seen detailed architectural designs, and that the estimated cost is of this capacity of seating capacity of 8,000 is 1.2 billion. It's not clear if the cost will be met by the taxpayer. The cathedral-like building designed by Scare, I believe, Architects Limited, features twin crosses on its rooftop and a tall, narrow cluster-style windows flanking the central edifice. It says that Nation sought to establish the rationale, constitutionality, and total cost. It goes on again to say that President Ruto had previously stated publicly his intention to build a church to underscore his Christian faith. They talk about how in his Karen residence, it used to host religious leaders while campaigning for the top seat in 2022. At the time, he dismissed critics and vowed to construct an even larger one if elected. So, red flags, guys. They were there.
Earlier this year, during a church service in Dagoretti, Nairobi, he said, there's a special field that I am working on, specifically meant for people who pray, those who preach. He said this on the 11th of January during a service at the United Pentecostal Church of Kenya in Dagoretti North. I want you, the clergy, to come and bless that field once it's ready. I'll invite you so that we can talk. The architect on record is Scare Architects, and the Nation reached out to them for comment regarding the status of the project. At first, the architect denied undertaking any construction at State House. When presented with images and designs of the building showing that the company is in charge, the architect questioned why Nation believed the structure was at State House. He later hurled insults, stating that Nation should stop bothering them about this project. Subsequent phone calls, texts, email reminders went unanswered. The church's design adopts a monumental neoclassical modern hybrid style, like he told us. Inside the church, 4 rows of main sanctuary seating with capacity for up to 8,000 worshippers, multiple entry points, storage rooms, toilets, and circulation corridors are incorporated for crowd control. There are 2 prayer rooms on each side of the main auditorium and various auxiliary rooms. You know, there's a book in the Bible that describes when God was giving the design of the temple that was to be built by Solomon. It talks about, it goes into great detail of where. Sounds like this is what I'm reading here. The vertical structure has 2 main levels, the sanctuary floor and 2 upper seating galleries. The galleries are laid out in a circular auditorium design in an amphitheater format to ensure visibility of the pulpit. The interior also includes 4 individual prayer rooms and 1 large family room. An exterior view of the church at night features LED lights at the entrance and a large see-through glass doorway.
Okay, there is no church big enough that can absolve the issues that are happening in the country. Ata ukijenga the size of 17 hotels, it does not diminish the issues that need to be addressed. Number 1. Number 2, we really need to start separating state and church because it's a weaponization. I think it's also an infringement on other people's religious beliefs because you're platforming and centering one over the other. And number 3, it just gives God-like demigod posturing. I will have the biggest house. 1.2 billion. Then I'll also renovate State House. I'm just going to use billions. It's okay. Yo mambo ya capitation. Tutaisort baadaye. Yo mambo ya sha. Mnaongea sana. Si tutakam. Let's first build this massive church. Then we'll be able to help you. We'll pray. And I always say it's a delicate personal thing. Prayer is powerful, but the weaponization of it is what really gets to me. Yeah.
Couldn't have put it better. No, I'll just leave it at that. Honestly,
This is shocking.
Mariam has no Latif is just like, what is going on?
Where is 1.2 billion shillings to build this church coming from? Is it coming from taxpayer money? If not,
Listen,
where?
State House is not private property.
Yes.
If it was not coming from taxpayers, then we'd have to question how private money goes into public property.
Yep.
Okay. So that's number one. So the easiest route is just for you to assume that the money being spent in this public property is public money. Okay. Because anything else now there, we've gone left.
I'm telling you, there's nothing more dangerous than people who center themselves above the institutions. And even as, again, S went wrong, username says, no, Paul Miner says, State House is public residence, just to your point. And he says, so what happens if the president, after Ruto, is Muslim? Anajenga msikiti.
Then the next one is a Hindu, then he
so
builds
build
a temple, and then and so on and so
Or
forth.
is this a multi-faith place of worship?
It doesn't give multi-faith. Maybe that's an assumption, but it
It has
doesn't.
two crosses at the top.
Yeah, because most of these places have chapels.
Yes.
That's sufficient. You have a chapel within.
And a prayer room.
And a prayer room in case you have your Muslim brothers and sisters.
And you're good to
Those are sufficient. You have rooms. You don't need 8,000 seating capacity to prove what? To prove your faith.
Yeah, no. What are the other headlines?
Jam. Sawa.
What else is on the Daily
Samahani.
Nation today?
It's one big story.
Sometimes you think you know everything that's going on, but there's always just something. There's always something.
There's always something new.